I know that with the rise of AI and the recent layout and landscape of the tech industry, a lot of people may be wondering if it's still worth learning how to code, and I'm here to tell you that it is. In today's video, I'm going to go over which language you should choose as a beginner. I'm going to cover key features of each language, how that language is used in different fields, what projects you can try if you're interested in dipping your toes and checking out which one might be perfect for you, and I'll also give you some free resources to check out. Without further ado, let's jump right in. The first language I wanted to cover is Python because it is a favorite among beginners for its simplicity and readability. It's a high-level interpreted language that covers many programming paradigms such as procedural, object-oriented, and functional programming. It has a huge presence in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data analytics, and some companies that are currently using Python include Reddit, Instagram, and Dropbox. Some key features for Python, apart from its simplicity and readability, include its portability. So you can run it on Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and in addition to that, it also, like I just mentioned, can be used for web development, data analysis, and also scientific computing. And since it is an interpreted language, that means that the code is executed line by line, which in some cases can also make it easier to debug. And like I said, Python does have a wide array of use cases, web development, scientific computing, but in recent years, it really has gained a lot of traction within the AI world. And so if that's something that you're interested in, I think that Python would be a great language to learn. And if you're not interested in that, Python is a great language to learn for a beginner because of its readability and its ease of use, and the learning curve is a little bit lower in comparison to other languages like C++ and Java, which I will get into a little bit later in this video. For projects, you can start off with a to-do list app, which is going to give you some exposure to input and output from users and how to handle that. From there, you can create a web scraper utilizing one of Python's many libraries. Beautiful Soup would be a great library to use for this, or ScrapePy. And like I said, that will give you some exposure to libraries within Python. And then lastly, you can create a simple machine learning project on a small data set using a library such as Scikit-learn. And all of these projects that are mentioned are not groundbreaking. If you do a simple YouTube or Google search, you'll be able to find a bunch of different tutorials that come up. Just type in simple Python beginner tutorial and you will see a bunch of things pop up. But if you're too lazy to do that, these are some free resources that you can check out. Free Code Camp, learnpython.org, Programming with Mosh have really great tutorials that are extensive and very intuitive to kind of help you get the ball rolling. Quick interruption, if you're new here, my name is Sophie. I go by Code by Sophie on all social platforms. I create tech content with the aim of lowering the barrier of entry into tech. So if you support this mission and you found this video helpful so far, make sure you like and subscribe and check me out on all my other social platforms. Let's get into the next language. The next language that I wanted to get into is JavaScript. JavaScript in recent years has gained a lot of popularity for its use in web development. It's mainly an event-driven language, meaning that it responds to user actions, things like clicks and form submissions, for example. Like Python, it is an interpreted language, and it also supports programming paradigms like functional programming and object-oriented programming. In addition, it's become really popular in the mobile app development space, in particular cross-platform mobile app development. With the rise of frameworks like React Native and Ionic, it allows you to develop once and deploy to two different platforms, for example, iOS and Android. I will also mention that JavaScript, while mainly known for its front-end development, through the use of Node.js allows you to use it for back-end dev, meaning that it then becomes a full stack development solution. If you're interested in some companies that currently use JavaScript, a few are Netflix, Uber, and PayPal, though I'm sure there are a variety of more that I have not named. If you want to give JavaScript a go, you can start out by creating a simple quiz game, which is going to give you, similar to Python, some exposure with handling user input and some basic logic. From there, you can try out a project that introduces APIs, something like a weather app, let's say, and you can play around with React Native to build an actual app for it, which I think would be fun. And lastly, if you want to see how you can use JavaScript in front end and back end, you can use Node.js to create something like a blog. Here are some free resources to learn JavaScript. Again, Free Code Camp, Programming with Mosh are really great places to look. I'm not sponsored by them, but they have some really great tutorials and it's free. And everyone loves free, so make sure you check those out. The next language that I wanted to cover is Java, which is known for its use in building enterprise scale applications, Android apps, and also server-side technologies. Java is a strongly typed language, an object-oriented language, which makes it pretty robust and also promotes clean modular code. It's also platform independent, meaning that you can run it on any platform that has the Java Virtual Machine or the JVM. Another key feature that I think is worth mentioning is the built-in support that Java provides for things like multi-threading, which makes it very efficient in executing multiple tasks in parallel, essentially. Because of its security features and robustness, it has a really big presence in industries like financial services, and it's also actually widely used in Android development as well. And with the use of frameworks such as Spring and Java Server, you can create some pretty robust web applications also. Among some companies that use Java internally are Spotify and LinkedIn. Now, if you're interested in trying out Java and you want a few projects, I'd suggest starting out with something like a basic calculator, which can give you some familiarity with Java's syntax. From there, you can experiment with maybe like a simple banking system, which will expose you to some class design and object-oriented principles. And then lastly, you can create a simple Android app, like a note-taking app or something, just to give you some exposure to what Android development looks like with Java. And once again, if you're interested in some free resources, check out Learn Java from Codecademy and Learn Java Programming with Programmist. The next language is R. R is a programming language and environment that was specifically designed for computing and graphics. Over the years, it has become a prominent tool in data analysis, statistics, and also graphical models. Some of its key features include its built-in function specialized, no surprise, for statistical analysis, and its capability to create high-quality graphs and plots. In addition, it's a cross-platform language, meaning that you can also run it on Windows, macOS, and Linux. It's heavily used in data science, biostatistics, and academic research. Some companies that use it, if you're interested, Google, Facebook, Twitter. Keep in mind, however, that if you're using R at a certain company, it's likely that you are doing some kind of research or data analyst role. I don't think that you'd be using R to work on their mainstream applications. If you want to play around with R, you can create a project around like weather data analysis, stock market data analysis, or even some kind of predictive modeling project, let's say, based on like a simple data set. And once again, here are some free resources for R programming tutorial, from Free Code Camp, R Programming, Coursera, Learn R, Codecademy. The next language that I wanted to go into languages C/C++. These are often grouped together, even though they are technically kind of different. But for the purposes of this video, I'll just group them together like everyone else seems to. C/C++ is mostly known for its use with hardware systems because of its low-level nature and incredibly fast performance. These are foundational programming languages, and they are, like I said, known for their efficiency. And since they are low-level programming languages, they give you close to hardware-level control, which is a great feature for system programming, and they're usually the #1 choice when application speed is critical. It is also worth noting that many modern languages, even though I grouped C and C++ together, C++, Python, and Java are all influenced by C. You can try creating a basic text editor that will give you some insight on file handling, a simple inventory system, and maybe even a simple ATM machine. Again, you can do a research on YouTube for different, easy tutorials, but those are just a few ideas. And if you're interested in learning C, C++ a little bit more, and you're too lazy to do that Google search, here are some more resources. C programming tutorial for beginners from Free Code Camp, C++ tutorial for beginners, Free Code Camp, so you can kind of see the difference between the two different languages. And then similarly, there's one offered by Codecademy and Programmist. They are used in a variety of industries like game development, real-time systems, high-performance computing, and I will also mention that the learning curve for C and C++ is a bit steep. So those that master this language typically pick up other languages easier just because there are so many things that you have to manage in C++ that you get for free in languages like Java and Python, mainly things like memory management. At this point in the video, I want to say that overall, it truly doesn't matter which language you begin with. Any language will teach you the basics of programming and will help you develop the infamous programmer mindset. However, as a general rule of thumb, if you don't know which to choose and you don't have a preference, I'd just choose Python. If you are interested in front-end development and maybe even some mobile app development, I think JavaScript would be a great choice. If you want to get into data analysis, you can start with R. And lastly, if you're more interested in the intersection of software and hardware, I'd say C/C++ are great options and the choice that I personally would go for. If you're so confused, you can check out this neat infographic that I found that I always refer folks to. I'll link it in the description box and it's completely free. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed and found it helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.